through that conversation is not fully accurate. So we do have some design considerations here that we're talking about again. So, you know, I think it's pointing out that there's a bit of a problem, and we might need to step back and look at everything that we have. The issues that have been raised, I've spent a lot of time researching this. There aren't any pools that I can find that have the dive well 20 feet, the restricted area 20 feet out in this area. There are also very few pools. There's only one pool, one municipal pool that has an integrated dive well that takes up half the pool. Mission Pool is that one of those pools. If you look at their pool and see where they've got it roped off, it's not 20 feet from the end of the pool that has a dive well. It's significantly more than that. And you also have, that pool is also longer than our pool will be. And we talk about square foot of water. Well, all water is not the same. The depth of the water matters. We also have a master plan that has considered and specified certain things. I've been sitting in the design committee meetings, even though I'm not on the committee, and someone asked a question this last time, which was last week, about the indoor water. And I believe it was a question about the maximum depth of the indoor water was 3 feet 6 inches. Well, the master plan calls for 5 feet. There's a big difference between 3 feet 6 inches and 5 feet. Also, this thing we're going to talk about in the work session has a 3-foot area in the fan. Well, 3 feet comes up to here on me as an adult male. I cannot get in the water in 3 feet, squat to get really in the water, and I also can't sit on the bottom because it'll be over my head. So there are design considerations that we need to actually think about when we're looking at this whole aquatics program.
Getting back to the initial request, what Mr. Frisbee's asking us to do is actually go backwards and consider something that we've already, for whatever reason, not voted on, decided to move beyond. I don't have a problem with looking at where the money would come from, because that doesn't sound like too hard of a job. And I think at that point, in 2 weeks from now, when we have our meeting, you could have the answers for what impacts those changes would made. If they were made, what impact it would have on our program. And I also want to make sure that we understand that, Mr. Frisbee, did you discuss this question you were going to ask tonight with staff before the meeting? No. So they're totally ill-prepared to answer the questions, okay? So that's really not fair to staff.
I want the answers now.
Yeah, and that's why they're not giving us the answers, because they don't want to make mistakes. Because, again, so in 2 weeks we'll have some of those answers. Does that make sense, Mr. Engel?
We can. So I guess the question is are we just to answer these questions, or because we have another track that is running with the other design, and that is already going to planning commission. So do we need
Don't worry
to?
about the camera.
We don't know what we're going to be doing with those options. I'm just asking for the knowledge base. If you want to email people on the council.
So just we can keep.
Sure, keep going where we're going.
Well,
Yeah,
sure.
and I'm not suggesting that we make any changes in terms of the direction we're going.
I'm not asking for changes in the process right now. I'm just asking for knowledge. And if you want to shortcut the deal and send everybody to the council the answers in the next 2 or 3 days, that'd be great. Then we can have a kind of discussion online perhaps.
I wouldn't recommend having a conversation.
Mr. Mayor, I want to point out that asking for this is taking
staff, resource, time, which does cost each one of us, everyone.
That's why I'm
here.
asking the mayor to do it.
Exactly, and
Even if I ask for it, it's still costs.
they are going to also, no doubt, have to talk to the consultants, and that's going to cost more money.
So what?
I am just not comfortable with doing that as just an exercise for knowledge. I'm all about learning new things, but I feel like this is going to be a costly question.
Well, I appreciate the comment, but we can find where the money's coming from a lot easier than what it's going to cost to actually do that. That's what will take consultant time. We could answer, Cindy's out of town, she won't be back till tomorrow. I mean, we could probably get that, the simple answer of, oh, we can find X amount of dollars in this place, this place, and this place. What the council chooses to do with that information, that's where we actually have to go back and design. And so, and then that decision has to be made either at a special meeting or at a regular council meeting. That's where the delays come in. So the research would not be to find the money. The research would be to how do we implement if that decision were to be made. If that makes sense, just to be clear.
Mayor Sisson?
Yeah.
I also heard tonight, and I hope that the rest of the council heard, we are slightly at risk for bringing in the projected sales tax dollars over the years that is going to be needed to pay back this bond money. We all know that Hen House has left. We heard that there is a possibility, we do not have any definitive information, that some other stores may be leaving. That is going to hurt our sales tax revenue, and we need to be mindful of how we're going to pay for this. Because it could take 3 months, 6 months, a year to fill those big stores, and that is going to hurt our sales tax revenue.
That's why I'm asking for options.
We heard about staff time. That is a cost too.
I think,
And I think it's silly to go backwards.
I think
I'm
you've
sorry,
answered.
I think it's silly to go backwards.
we're not making a commitment to anything, and it doesn't going to take that long when we get that information. Let's go ahead and get this meeting
Mayor,
adjourned.
I'm sorry, but I really do need to interject because your planning commission a week from Wednesday will be considering the plan before you that you guys have already approved. I want to make it clear that they will, unless you all this evening decide to delay that, so they will be acting on that. That is certainly not a problem, and then you probably, if you want to make some changes later on down the road, I mean, obviously it is going to add more time, but I want to make sure everybody was clear that they will be doing a hearing on that. And then we're doing a hearing based upon zoning issues, not a lot of the issues that have been discussed tonight, so it's going to be zoning issues. But I didn't want anybody to be confused that this discussion you all are having somehow is going to change what the planning commission is going to hear. And then the other thing I did want to add also in regards to your timing issue, you also have a TIF that you will have scheduled. It is per state ordinances stuff that you will have to hear at your last, you have to have a public hearing at your last meeting in September. And that's something that you've been working on since early part of this year. So again, those just want to make sure everybody was aware of those timing things, and particularly the planning commission is a week from Wednesday going to be doing a hearing on the plan that you all have approved already.
Can the planning commission approve what they have, what's currently submitted, then we change to a different aquatic component and not have to go back to planning commission, or do we have to go back to planning commission with all of that?
Right, that's an excellent question. And I'm not going to be able to provide you with a definitive answer without seeing it, because we do have the ability to do some administrative reviews and changes between what's approved and what's actually implemented. Do it all the time for a lot of your commercial projects. If it is a significant change, then they will have to go back through the whole process.
And correct me if I'm wrong here, I thought what the planning commission was going to do was consider the footprint.
The preliminary development plan, which really does set the footprint of the community building, the parking garage. But again, just there is some mobility within there that staff can do some administrative approvals, but if it's a significant change, then we'll have to go back through the process.
Well, probably you can't answer this, that if there were changes that were made that did not change the footprint, would that be something the planning commission would have to agree?
I will say hopefully not. Again, without seeing it, but really it's hard to say, but if it's not a significant change to the footprints of the buildings and things like that.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. Hearing that we have no other business, I'm going to go ahead, unless Mr. Engel would prefer I not, I want to recommend that we have a motion and a second to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
That's perfect.
All in favor? Aye.
We'll convene upstairs in the room at, let's do it about at 10 after.